Hi there, this is Phil Simborg, USBGF Teaching Pro, with a position from a match I played the other day, 9-point match. The red, my opponent is blue, and it is a doubling situation. Blue is on roll, and I'll tell you right now, he doubled me, and I was trying to decide whether to take or drop. What would you do? Pip count is 6163. Would you take or drop? Well, the title of this video is Thank You, Tom Keith, because I use the Keith count. You can also use EPC here, as you can see, and that's also an excellent method. But the Keith count is what I generally use, and I'm starting to use EPC more, but I'm very comfortable with the Keith count, and I like it. The Keith count adjusts for wastage. In this case, I have quite a bit of wastage on my ace point, and I have an opening on my 4-point. So that makes my pip count really worse than it looks. I'm going to waste some of my rolls because of that, more than he is. So it's worse than just losing by 2. But the interesting thing here also that you have to know is at 3-away, my take point's about 25%. Live cube take point that I use at this score, based on the latest Kazaros table, is 25%. So the question is, do I have 25%? Well, using the Keith count, I was able to determine that I probably don't have 25%. Because if you use the Keith count properly and do the adjustments, you would find that the adjusted Keith count for red compared to blue is a difference of 2. And when the roller is over by 2, that means it's a small take for money, or at normal match scores, meaning that it's going to be somewhere around 23%. It's just a small take. So if it's around 23%, I know it's below 25%, and I properly drop the cube. Now, it wouldn't have been a horrible mistake to take the cube, but again, the difference between playing great and playing average is these close ones. We're all going to get the obvious ones right. It's how you do on the close ones consistently that really makes the difference between a typical player and a very good player. And my goal is to become a very good player, and in this area, thanks to Tom Keith, I've proven that I can maybe reach that level. It would have been a almost 7% error to pass, and look at this. I had estimated 23%. It's 23.7%. How close can you come? Now, you can use Extreme Gammon as a tool to check yourself. You can take a picture of the position and put it in later, or if you're playing on a computer or saving the match, you can check it, and you can check your methodology. The first thing you can do is you can check your take points. You can go to Analyze, Cube Information, and you'll see that your live cube take point is 22.65. Now, the next version of Extreme Gammon, Xavier promises me that he's going to do what I've been begging for him to do a long time ago, is put in the true effective pip count. This is a number that assumes you have a perfectly efficient recube. So it's usually somewhere in between here, which is what you should really be using, and that's what Extreme Gammon really uses. It doesn't take, for example, if it was taking and using 22.65, this would be a take. But no, it's passing. So it's not even using 22.65. It's using 68% of the difference of these two. That's what it's using. So it's really using 25% if you do the math. So that's one thing you can check. The other thing you can do is you can actually check your Keith count calculations. Now, I'm not going to sit here and teach you Keith count. I'm going to encourage you to do it. You can go online and search for it. You can go on to Backgammon Galore and find Tom Keith's article on how he developed it and how it works. Or you can find it in several other sources as well. But you have the ability also to go to Analyze, Race Formulas, and you can do all kinds of formulas here. The Trice, the Thorpe, EPC, pip count, EPC. There it is. It gives you all the calculations for EPC, but it doesn't come right out and tell you if you should take or drop. Keith does. Keith tells you that the difference is 2, and it tells you that it would be a double or a redouble and a take in a money game. But just barely a take, because you need to be over by 2 or more to have a bare take. So that's around a 23% number, so I can interpolate from there that I'm under 25% and that I did it right. When I did my adjusted Keith count, I came up with 7270. If I'd come up with some different numbers, then I know I did something wrong, and it even tells me how it got to these calculations. It took the pip count, adjusted for wastage on both sides, added 1/7 to the roller's roll to penalize him for the fact that he would be giving up the cube, and came up with that difference of 2. So thank you, Mr. Keith. If you're not using the Keith count, if you're just using that 10%, 12% thing, that's highly inaccurate. If you're using Trice, that's pretty good. If you're using Ward, Kleinman, those are pretty good too. But the Keith count really works well for me in most situations, and it really saved my life in this position. The good news is I dropped, I lost the point, but I won the match. So that's the good news, and it happened to work out here. Thanks for watching. I'm on the airplane tomorrow on my way to San Francisco. I hope to see a lot of you there. Stay tuned to the USBGF website and the ABT website for updates. I'm going to send my information and updates to Bill Davis on ABT website. So both of these websites, or rather the Facebook pages, will keep you updated on what's going on with the tournament. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.